Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? Good. Okay, cool. My name is Claudio Vacalebre. I'm the co-founder of Videotion. Together with me, we have today connected from the Netherlands, George Wittenbolz, who is a co-founder of Videotion as well. So we are going to give you a live demo, completely live demo. There's no local things around. So whatever you see here is what's going on exactly in this moment. So George, see if you can start this. Cool. You see, this is the two of us. We put together something like 60 years of ICT experience. And after almost 30 years, each of us working on this sector, we had decided to go out with something that we really think is cool. It's cool because it's giving to the end user something different, something easier. No menus, not on all of those kind of things. You have just to do and concentrate on the conversation. You have to do a lot of things. Videotion is high scalable. It's based on the cloud. We use Microsoft Azure and Amazon Web Services as our preferred cloud providers. That's why we can consider ourselves global. We could deploy Videotion wherever in the world. Today we have something like a dozen of different locations that are reflecting basically where Amazon and Microsoft are deploying their services. And we are using an open source technology on the product stack. But on the operating system, we are using Windows Server 2012 R2 because we consider that a great operating system to use for this. So we are mixing commercial software with open source software, and the mix is really great. You can see what you're seeing here. Actually, this is a presentation, right? But this is a special presentation because it doesn't require PowerPoint. This doesn't require any slideware or SlideShare. This is exactly what you want to have when you need to have meaningful conversation with your counterpart. And we know very well that, especially executives, they don't care about presentation. They care about conversation. So we are making this conversation a meaningful one. So now, as you can see, George has stopped the video. And what I'm going to do in this moment, I'm just moving from the full screen back to the window screen. And you can see that in the window screen...
Good afternoon.
Hey, George. You are really loud. Yes, you are saying nice. That was George. That was George saying hi, a little bit louder. But as you can see, George is conducting this conversation. So I'm not touching the computer. He's doing everything on my behalf. So what he could do a lot of things. For example, he could show me a different video, a different content. And this content could come from other content networks, such as Vimeo, YouTube, or SoundCloud. So in this case, he's opening still a Vimeo file, but let's open a YouTube file, George. So while George is doing that, I can show you a little bit what this interface is giving you, just as when you start. So you get on the participant side his name. You got the logo that explains if that user has been authenticated, and you get a profile picture that is coming from that authentication provider. We provide 7 different authentication providers. So we go from Google, Windows Live, YouTube, Vimeo, SoundCloud, Twitter, and YouTube. Every time you authenticate yourself, the system is capable to take all the content you got in that specific repository and show that content on the fly. Let me show you this, how that works. So what I'll do here, I just click on Present Your Own Video, and I click on Vimeo. And exactly, it's asking me, hey, do you want to connect Videotion with Vimeo? Oh, yes, let's allow that. And when you allow that, you see that your playlist is populating with all the content that you got on Vimeo. So that at this point, what I could do, I could basically just play, and please, George, play that for me. We could play new content that I have added on the fly to this solution. So now George is basically doing that, and I can do anything on this screen. Actually, I cannot even go full screen because I have decided that for this content, I do not allow the user to go full screen. But if I want to, for example, select a different one, so let me pause this for a moment and select a different one, you can see that now we got that full screen button. So George, please play that for me as well. And you see now he's playing this video very easily, and we are having a conversation because I could talk with him on top of this video and have the discussion on whatever content we are showing. So So in this case, I was showing George a week ago the way that I've been able to automate the deployment process. So I put together this video, I shared with him, and I put together a time lapse to show what the progresses were. Now, this can be done really just clicking buttons. You do not need to do anything else. Now I've paused it, but the participants have the same kind of sharing control, so I can load a video, and that participant could play it, could pause it, could ask me, hey, let's just review that specific segment because there is the information that we need to discuss, and maybe we need to change our decisions. So George, in this case, is participating as the owner. I'm also participating as the owner of this demo room. And so George, as the owner, what he could do, could change the layout of the experience. So for example, he wants to move the video on the top, or moving the video on the left, putting the video back on the bottom, or even changing the entire experience, like putting a different background, and as well as closing the room or doing things like that. Now, please don't close the room, George, at this moment. Let's continue to go through this demo. So you have seen the authentication part. You have seen the way that two users could collaborate. You haven't seen yet how the owner could close the room and move all the users out of it. But basically, this is the main capabilities that you got today. Very easy. Now, if I put this browser full screen, actually, you cannot tell me if this is an application or if this is a browser, right? So when you are full screen, actually, you got that richness of the interface so that every single pixel of the screen is exploited just for the meaning of this conversation, so that you can stay focused on that conversation and you can share the content you need while having that conversation. Videotion allows up to 5 users in the room, and one of these users must be the owner. As he's playing the audio, so we got the audio as well. Let me put a little bit down there. But yes, whenever you talk with the other participant, you can also listen that content, and you can really have that conversation. So we said maximum 5 participants. This is because of the peer-to-peer model of WebRTC. But if we are deploying this into a campus or wherever you got more bandwidth, we can change that and expand the number of participants depending on the bandwidth that you get available. So as you can see, you can really establish a new model of collaboration and communication without really doing more than typing a URL that is the equivalent of a telephone number, hit enter, and you are into that room, okay? I haven't shown, how long time? I got more. Oh, okay, 2 minutes, wow, that luxury, cool. So we got also here a projector, a mini projector that got a Chromecast connected. So let's see if we can make this work. So first of all, what I want to do, I want to connect through YouTube to see my own content that is deployed on top of it. And you don't see the content here. Why? Because the system keeps all the content. It could be that you got 1,000 of different videos, so it would be unfeasible to show 1,000 on videos. But you have a nice filter function here where you just put together a letter, and it will give you all the content that got that letter inside the title. So now you can see that we got the video coming from YouTube. That is this one, right? So I can play this video. I can pause it. I could change, go somewhere else. I could come back to it. And in this case, unlikely because we move it from there to here, it seems that the network is not really working. So the system is not able to see the Chromecast icon here. Otherwise, if the icon was there, we would have been able to basically move this area of the video into somewhere else while putting, for example, the counterpart full screen so that you could have 2 different screens when in one you are seeing full screen, the room, and on the other one you are seeing the content working. And you see, in this case, we got good quality, and this is a guy that is in the Netherlands. So we are still doing this in real time, and you can see how easy and flexible and agile is the way the system is reacting. And What else to say? We are, as I said before, we are a global startup in this sense. Let me put this back to this one, and I want to show you just something that shows you where we are present. So we have instances of Videotion deployed in Japan, in Singapore, in Australia, in South America. Most of them are in North America, and we have also Europe. So we'll be able to deploy on top of whatever data center that is the closest to the end user. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate your time.